Hi guys, AC here. Welcome to another review and thanks for clicking on the link. Today I've got a really great fragrance for you. It's called 1740 by Histories de Parfums. If you're looking for a sort of audaciously manly, oh, amazing fragrance, I've got a very good fragrance for you. This fragrance was released in 2008 by a house which was created by the gentleman who's a perfumer. His name is Gérald Guislain. Now, Gérald Guislain has probably created all the fragrances for Histories de Parfums. Some notable ones being Patchouli Noir, 1725, another beautiful creation by this house, and one of my favorites. So let's start with why 1740. So Histories de Parfums create fragrances and they name them after historical figure or historical events. For example, 1969. So who is this gentleman? Well, Marquis de Sade was born in 1740, obviously, in an aristocratic family in France, and apparently his name was Donatien Alphonse François. That's his name, but he is more popularly known as Marquis de Sade. This gentleman was an aristocrat. He was also a politician, libertine, sexually he was quite a libertarian. That's what got him into trouble, and he was incarcerated for most of his life. He wrote many books, most of them were very controversial, and that's the whole reason why he got into prison, into trouble, and subsequently he was incarcerated. He also spent a lot of time in mental asylum. One of his books is called 120 Days of Sodom, which, probably will pale 50 Shades of Grey into oblivion. Yeah. So I haven't read the book, but here it is. This is how the book looks. So over to this fragrance. Let's start with the packaging. The packaging is fantastic. I really like it because it's a white box. Yeah, and the name Histories de Parfums is embossed on the front. There's a label. You see all the notes listed here. It's beautiful. The bottle is equally beautiful. It's a lovely dark golden amber kind of a juice. I love the cap. The cap has details. Histories de Parfums. This is a 100 ml bottle. So let's start with the spray because I've got about a 9-hour dry down on my left hand. So let's start with the spray and start the journey of this fragrance. So how does it start off? It starts off and it's quite a shocking start. In fact, most of the people will be put off. It takes a bit of time to get your nose adjusted to the fragrance. Yeah, at least 3 or 4 wearings, I would say. So what do you smell up front? Bergamot and a floral opening. The floral is Davana Sensualis. At the same time, you also get the heart rushing in very quickly. So the opening of the fragrance is what puts people off because it's very, very unusual. I'll go into the heart a little later, but the opening is floral, resinous, and there's a huge blast of camphor, and there is no camphor listed on the if you like the pyramid, the scent pyramid. So that's how it opens, and if you let it settle down for about 5-10 minutes, you will see that the heart notes come into play. Yeah. So what is the heart of this fragrance? The heart of this fragrance has spicy characteristics. So it has patchouli, and it has cumin and coriander. So the fragrance in about 5 minutes time, and I'm doing this from memory, smells waxy in nature, and the camphor that you're smelling is actually the camphorous accord of patchouli. The patchouli has been done beautifully here, and it's pushing out the camphorous note. That's what puts people off because it's just very confusing, because you can deal with fruit, you can deal with flowers and leather, which is prominent in this fragrance, but that camphor note pushes everything to the side and throws a little if you like, audaciousness to the fragrance. And this is trying to represent a personality who was very lascivious. You know, he was known for his love for women and all sorts of sexually bent, if you like. He was quite sexually bent. So it's trying to introduce that audaciousness into the fragrance, and it succeeds. The fragrance smells unusual and amazing. It's a fantastic fragrance. So the spiciness of the fragrance comes into play much later, probably about 30-45 minutes. But for the first 30-45 minutes is when you'll really be sort of embraced by this fragrance. It's an addictive fragrance. Yeah, the embrace that you get is of waxiness, dry fruits, tea, and fruitiness. This tea that I talked about, it made me think many times of Ceylon tea. There is no Ceylon tea in the note pyramid, but that tea and apricots, there's a, you know, the Divana Sensualis that they've used here has a very prominent apricot vibe. Yeah. So in about 5 minutes time, the fragrance smells of a nice combination of what you call apricot with very beautifully done leather, hint of spiciness, camphor, which is coming from the patchouli, and it is got this slight resinous feel to it, which is coming from the labdanum, which is in the base. So let's go to the base. The base of the fragrance is, this is 9-hour dry down, so I'm getting very slight hints. But the base of the fragrance has cedar, because this fragrance is classified as a woody chypre. But the cedar is probably right in the background. I never get it, but there's cedar in this. There's labdanum, which gives it that beautiful embalming, sort of warmth. The warmth of the fragrance is from the labdanum. There's elemi in this fragrance, and leather. Oh, the leather just shines through now. It's about 5 minutes since I've applied. The leather is beautiful. So after about, I would say, 1.5 hours, the fragrance starts its beautiful journey. The journey of the fragrance has slight chocolatey accord of patchouli coming through, a beautiful leathery texture, slightly balmy, slightly resinous, dry fruits, Ceylon tea, apricots, and there's a very special note in the base of the fragrance which actually starts coming through in about 1 hour time, and that is Immortale. Immortale does magic with men's fragrances if used properly. And you know, the floral character of this fragrance is dependent on those two notes. One at the top, Divana Sensualis, and Immortale. They mix together and give this floral accord. Floral sense to the fragrance. The fruity accord, the apricot, is coming from the Divana Sensualis as well. So fruity, floral, leather, tea, slight hint of chocolate, slight hint of spiciness. Beautiful, beautiful fragrance. You will enjoy this thoroughly. I really love this fragrance. And the camphor note. You'll get used to it and you'll start liking it. The fragrance is absolutely fantastic, guys. Get a sample, get 2 or 3 applications, 2 or 3 wearings, different types of weather conditions, and you'll see what a magic fragrance this is. So let's go to the pros and cons. Now, this is a rich, classy and opulent fragrance. That's the first pro. It smells unique and expensive. The only fragrance I was reminded of in the middle stages of this fragrance is Intoxicated by Kilian. Yeah, and that is a very expensive fragrance. The third thing is a great value for money. I think so, because this bottle can be had anywhere between, say, £75 and £100 for 100 ml. You can get the 50 ml even cheaper from a discounter store. It lasts, the longevity of the fragrance is between 7 and 9 hours. This is 9-hour dry down. Oh man, this is beautiful. The late dry down of the fragrance is suede leather, slightly spicy, slightly floral fruity, yeah, and waxy in character. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful fragrance. Versatility of the fragrance. You know, I wear this to work. It doesn't project too much. It's got performance of, as I said, 6 to 9 hours. It has medium to strong sillage. If you keep 2 sprays under your shirt, whenever you move, you'll smell this, and it smells divine under your shirt. In terms of projection, it has about half an arm's length of projection, and then it comes closer to your skin, and by about 3.5 hours it sits close to your skin. That's why I wear it under my shirt, because it wafts a beautiful, amazing, charismatic fragrance. I just love this fragrance. I'm in love with this fragrance. So in terms of value for money, as I said, I would say it's a good value for money. Why? Because it smells expensive, it lasts a decent amount of time, and it's versatile. Since it sits close to your skin, the kind of occasions you can wear this to is work, autumn time, winter time. It's a cool weather scent. Although I love it so much, I've worn this during summer evenings. It was in my list of fragrances that I did for summer evenings. You can wear this easily. If you wear this in summer evenings, it has a more floral aspect to it. It smells more like a barbershop fragrance with a floral head and middle. It smells very different in cooler weather. Yeah, that's what I like about this fragrance. It is a mildly complex fragrance. It does transform a bit, which keeps you interested. Different weather conditions, different smell accords. The tea is more prominent in autumn. The apricot is more prominent in autumn. The leather and the spices are more prominent in winter. It's a very interesting fragrance. Okay, so these are the pros. The cons: it will take a little bit of wearing, few wearings for you to adjust. That's the only con I can think of. So I think I've covered all aspects. I would like to give it a good 9 out of 10. It's a good niche fragrance, smells expensive, it'll augment your personality. And it's for people who are risk takers, well dressed, achievers, risk takers. It goes very well with their personality. So there you go. Give it a like if you like it. Thank you. See you again. Bye bye.